Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today I'm going to be going through the process of carving the neck. Here I am cutting down the headstock to roughly the right thickness on the bandsaw. Then I take it over to the spindle sander slash belt sander and thickness it and clean it up. So to start the carving, I actually will take an angle grinder, and I have a flat disc on here with I think 80 grit, something like that. And what I'll do is I'll start out making straight lines. Some people call them facets, I think. Basically I just do a series of straight lines until I get kind of like an octagon shape, or whatever is more than an octagon, I don't know. Once I got most of the material off with the angle grinder, I'll switch to a flat rasp, and then I'll start on either end of the neck. This is up by the nut, and I'll just shape it till it's roughly the shape that I want. And I'll move down by the heel and do the same to that. Once I get the top of the neck and the bottom neck roughly the shape, I'll take my spoke shave here and just connect the two areas so it's more of a uniform. also use a little block plane. It's really good for kind of just taking out any small little humps and flattening it out even further. And I'll use this curved rasp to form the heel area. And once I get that kind of roughly going how I want, I move up to the loot. And I missed a bunch of footage because my battery died, so I'm kind of moving into finishing the neck here. Right here, I'm just taking a pencil and just scribbling some lines on it, so I'll know when I start sanding where the high and low areas are. So to get things flattened, I use a sanding block, and I'll sand in a crisscross pattern to start. I know I'm probably get a lot of flack from that, but I do auto body for a living, and I've learned that that's the best way to get things really flat, so I still do it. Once I start moving through the grits, then I'll start sanding with the grain. But to start out flattening it, I'll do a crisscross pattern. I just go back and forth between pencil lines and moving through the grits. Periodically, I'll check the straightness with a ruler just to double check. I do also use a card scraper just to kind of fine tune some of the carving. And the sanding, I'll usually start with 80, and I'll go 120, and then I'll get it roughly finished to 180 before I move on. So here I am with some black stain, and I'm just going to apply it to the binding only right now. So once I got the black on there, I'll sand it all back before I actually stain. binding. The reason I do this is because it's a flame maple and the black stain just kind of highlights some of the flaming and it'll make it pop more when I add the stain onto the binding. So the first stain that I got on here is a pink stain. Not sure what it is, but I mixed it with alcohol. So I just apply it with a cloth using my fingertip, trying not to get the stain anywhere I don't want it, like the fingerboard. The next stain I use is a green stain. This is actually from Crimson Guitars, and I just apply it with a rag with my fingertip, trying to be careful as possible. Put the stain on, I go back over the whole neck with 220. When I sand near the binding, I just kind of hold the sandpaper at an angle and sand away so it leaves a clean line. There's a few areas that I need to touch up the stain, so I go back and forth between a little bit of sanding those areas out and applying the stain. I also take my card scraper to clean up any of the stain that got on to the fretboard. Once I got everything looking how I want it, I take some water and spray it down to raise the grain. just take, this is 400, but 320 would be just fine, and I sand it down. Once I got all the sanding done, I take some tongue oil and apply it to the whole neck. Well guys, that's going to do today. Thank you for watching. As you can see, I still haven't put the side dots in. I'm going to wait until I get the finish done before I put it on. Otherwise it'll mess with the stain. Once I glue it in, the glue won't allow the stain to go in. So yeah. Also, I'm thinking about changing the color scheme up just a little bit. I'm thinking I might want to run the green stain kind of up a little and fade into the natural wood, and then start again with the pink, and then have the front face natural, and then the middle will be kind of natural, just because I got this flame right here in the middle and I really want that to pop. So let me know what you guys think, if I should make that change. I'm probably going to do it, but we'll see. Yeah, thanks again.